Okay, in a growth process, a lot of people think that what we need to do is to set goals and then meet those goals. That's a very common approach to growing and reaching higher levels. But what I found personally in my studies of Jewish growth and character development is that we don't really see a tradition for a lot of these, like setting little goals and then reaching them and moving forward. But rather, it's a systematic approach where we have a way of living, and then we be consistent with it. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do the entire system at once. Obviously, we grow slowly, step by step, but it's a different mentality thinking about living by a system consistently as opposed to setting a concrete goal and then trying to meet that. And I think the reason is when you set a goal, there are only two options. Either you don't meet it or you do meet it, and each one has its own goal. If you don't meet the goal, obviously you can become dejected, because all of the work you may have done and all of the progress leading up to reaching that goal, if you just don't hit that mark, then in your mind, everything that you did gets chalked up as failure. And you could become dejected and think that I can't do it. And if you take it even, if it's the worst case scenario, you could even prove to yourself psychologically that you're incapable of reaching that goal. Whereas if you do reach the goal, then there's another goal. What happens when you're running a race? You hit the finish line. You stop running. Once you hit that goal, we feel accomplished. We feel we did something, which is great. But then there's a chance that we could become complacent. And then as we're reveling in our victory, before we know it, we have regressed back to where we started, or sometimes even before we started. So the Torah approach is, what we're going to be doing this Elul is finding where we are in the path, in our own Jewish path, and sticking to something consistently, not setting a goal that by this time I'll do that and then finish. But we're making life changes that are going to be consistent. Again, small, manageable things that we can implement into our lives and live according to the system, this beautiful way of Jewish life. And to inspire us, let's do some Shofar.